Abhishek to join, who will be our fourth participant anyway. So, right. Namaste to everybody. Thanks for joining in. I hope more would join later on. Today it will be an interesting initiative from Soham, and I'm Dr. Maladi Srinivas Sastry. I'm a psychiatrist by profession, and I also conduct workshops and webinars through this platform Soham. One of the things I have been very keen on developing is, being rooted with. I'm a psychiatrist, so obviously psychology is bread and butter. But I also believe the spiritual values, especially from the Vedantic tradition, have a lot to offer as well for our own personal well-being. And this is something which we do kind of focus on in our workshops and webinars. Today's initiative is a little unique because I have always had this idea of having something dedicated to the youth, particularly the Indian youth, because our education system doesn't somehow allow an opportunity for an inward journey. An inward journey or a self-awareness exercise doesn't happen really. And we are very busy. I think the education system is very geared towards occupation readiness, or preparing the student to be employed, or employability is the focus, as opposed to personal development as the main focus. So this is just a small kind of initiative. I hope it will only kind of become a meaningful exercise as we go along. What I'll do is I'll just share a few slides to start with to give you an idea what we are going to do today. All right. So just bear with me for 5 minutes. Also, the session is supposed to last 1 hour, but doing it for the first time, I'm actually expecting that it may carry on for another 20 minutes. So please bear with us if in case it extends beyond the time we actually thought of. Okay, so I'll just share a few slides to set the stage so that everybody understands what this is all about. All right, so this is Reroute Youth to Dharma. And it will hopefully be a part of a wider youth leadership series. So the topic for today is navigating my life's maze with Dharma. And we have 4 bright youngsters joining us as participants who have very readily volunteered to participate in this. So Sampada, Akhil, Amulya, and Abhishek will be joining me in this interaction. Okay, this is all about Dharma as well. So you will actually see a few things coming your way from Vedic understanding, Upanishads maybe, Bhagavad Gita perhaps. All right, so Ano Badra Kratavo Yantu Vishwataha. This is a Rigvedic saying which means let noble thoughts come to me from all directions, which means that I want to be prepared like a sponge. I want to be open to learning from all directions. What we will do during this session, it will be initially I'll be presenting some case scenarios. So there are 4 participants, right? So each one of them will be given a case scenario. I'll narrate one. And that particular individual participant will respond to the best of their capacity. And then it will be an interaction with me, the host, to really assess the dilemmas and find solutions through the lens of Dharma. Okay. And later on, I will try and make this an interesting exercise by comparing with a parable from the olden times, like a story. And for today, actually, I've picked up, I've found this nice little book from, I don't know if you can see me with the book in the screen. So this is Swami Chinmayananda's Parables, Brilliance of Vedanta Through Simple Stories. So what I'll do is I'll try and relate to the parables with those scenarios, and we'll just see what comes out of it. See, I believe in the churning of the Sagara Mathana, as we know. That's the picture I have put as well. So let us imagine that I am the host on one side of the mountain, and the other side is the participants. We are actually trying to churn the milk out of it, and we are trying to get the nectar. All right. Ultimately, we are all winners in this journey. But when we talk about dharma and dharma related kind of learning, we need to figure out what in fact is dharma based response. I'm going to present these case scenarios, fair enough, but then what is supposed to be dharma based response? Is it easy? Well, it is. If it is so easy, then we would have been practicing it all in our lives. Each one would be perfect. But let us look at it this way. So if our dilemma to resolve a problem is between a gain predominant solution, a solution which gives me the gain, versus a holistic benefit predominant solution. Here it is about I may also gain, but along with everybody else. All right. So this is how I can make it as simple as possible. So on one side, it is just purely me and my gain versus gain for everybody, including me. But actually, Dharma says do the right thing. All right. And Dharma can actually kind of be very situation specific, but it is all about how do we train ourselves to do the right thing. And how do we learn and practice Dharma? We can learn it through gurus, we can learn through scriptures, we can actually follow good examples in society. Even if we don't manage to find a guru, at least we should be making an effort to find good examples in society. It could be in the family, our school, it could be in our friend circles, satsanga, anything. And if these are not possible, or along with these things, it's also good to train ourselves to listen, to listen to my own inner self. I've also come across this nice little 5-step decision making guide, which is from a yoga journal. And it says seek guidance from scriptures of your tradition, rely on good examples. So we can see the commonalities from what we have seen in the earlier slide and this one. And see if it feels right. Feels right for whom? For me. And how do I know if it is right? It is only if I tune myself to listen to my own inner self. Do what is best for all and reach for the highest ideal. Now, this is like aiming to reach for the highest ideal. We may not ever reach the highest ideal, but we should at least aim to reach the highest ideal. Okay. Okay, here is a nice shloka from Bhagavad Gita. कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिं आस्थिता जनकादयः लोकसंग्रहमेवापि संपश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि यद्यताचरति श्रेष्ठः तद्देवेतरो जनः स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते. By performing their prescribed duties, this is what Krishna is actually telling Arjuna. By performing their prescribed duties, King Janaka and others attained perfection. So you should also perform your work to set an example for the good of the world. Now, this is leadership. Now, the next two lines are very important. Whatever actions great persons perform, common people follow. And whatever standards they set, all the world pursues. Now, here I'll end this with a prayer from Courage, for Courage by Rabindranath Tagore, and I thought it's a beautiful one. Let me not pray to be sheltered from dangers, but to be fearless in facing them. Let me not beg for the stilling of my pain, but for the heart to conquer it. Let me not look for allies in life's battlefield, but to my own strength. Let me not crave in anxious fear to be saved, but hope for the patience to win my freedom. Grant me that I may not be a coward, feeling your mercy in my success alone. And look at the last line. But let me find the grasp of your hand in my failure, so This is a nice way to kind of convey what is called as nishkama karma, where you're actually doing, the process is in your hand, but whether it's a success or failure, it's really not in your hand. Okay. So I'll stop there in terms of giving an introduction, and let me see if Abhishek is here. Are you here, Abhishek?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. And I would, the reason I asked is because you were not there at the beginning, so I wanted to make sure you are here. So the four of you, can you please one by one introduce yourselves? That is Amulya, Abhishek, Akhil, and Sampada. Um, I know them because they have attended the webinar on the Sanatana Dharma, Bring Out the Best in You. So yeah, so I'll ask Akhil. Akhil, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, sure, Mahoday. Hello, everyone. This is Akhil. So I've done my engineering in electronics and communications, right? And then later worked for TCS. And then now currently I'm just teaching yoga and pranayama. I've attended a number of webinars presented by Dr. Malladi Srinivas Sastry Garu. I've felt them very interesting. Also, it has given me another angle where I can learn more about Dharma or about our Vedantic principles and all. So I felt very much interested more into our spiritual journey. So that is brief about me, and also attended most of his webinars conducted by him, uh, youth series, etc. So these are the
Thank
things
you.
about me.
Right, that's
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks. Thank you. Amulya?
Hello everyone. Hi sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Uh,
figure out how to pin you to the screen, but I'm not succeeding. Yes, now yeah, I can. Yes, okay,
okay.
good.
I'm Amulya Jayanti. I did computer science engineering at Geetham in Vizag, and I'm currently working in Microsoft as a project manager. I attended Dr. Malari Srinivas Sastry Garu's webinars on Sanatan Dharma and the youth series, which was conducted in May, and it it was. It was a very fresh experience actually. Apart from the knowledge that I got, apart from that, it was a very good experience to actually interact with so many people who think in that direction and kind of get their opinions on the spiritual journey and all. It was really nice knowing about it. And actually, after attending that series, the 7-day workshop, I um, I went back and I started to I gained interest in Vedas and all, and it was really good.
That's
And
nice. I'm glad that we somehow inspired you to do some scriptural studies. Very good.
thank you.
Okay, Sampada?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Namaste, everyone. I'm Sampada. I stay in UK. I'm currently doing undergraduation, second year in politics and international relations. A very controversial subject given the current scenario everywhere. Um, I attended Maladi Shastri Garu's two Sanatana Dharma events
Okay,
twice,
both in Telugu and English, I guess.
both in Telugu and English. Yes.
Okay.
And it has been a wonderful journey. And prior to attending those events, I was involved in scriptures and Indian classical arts. And attending those sessions has given me a different perspective and a new outlook. So it's been a
Great.
great and inspiring journey for me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Abhishek? I'm trying to be quick so that we can save time. Yeah. Abhishek.
Yes, sir. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Challa Krishnamir Abhishek. I've completed my PhD in linguistics. I've authored a few books on topics pertaining to applied linguistics, psychology, and mass communication. So basically, I recently started my journey into spirituality, and I'm currently working on soft skills through Bhagavad Gita, being a soft skills trainer. So attending Soham Vidya's 10-day program in both in Telugu. I've attended in Telugu and English, and I've learned a lot. I've actually tried to understand the tenets of Sanatana Dharma, and slowly, as a Sanatana Mitra or a Hindu Mitra, I would want to contribute back to the society. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you all. You're all bright and sincere enthusiasts in seeking, I think, seeking truth. Let me put it that way. People just get allergic when we talk about either the words Hindu, Sanatana Dharma, or even Dharma for that matter. But when we use nice jargon like truth, everybody is okay. Thankfully, I think we are in the right place. But well, that's the way things are. But let's hope that we can bring back some kind of courage in using the right words to describe the right things. Okay, so it's now 15 minutes past 6 o'clock, and the first scenario will be to Abhishek, Krishnavir Abhishek. Are you ready for that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. All right. So let's see what we have. So I'll read it out, and then please pay attention. Just for the others, I have given them the scenario just a couple of hours ago so that they are not in a shock either. So please don't think that we are all smart enough in figuring out answers straight away. So there was slight preparation ahead of this webinar. Okay, so Abhishek, you are Naveen for now. Okay, you're not Abhishek, so I'll call you Naveen. So Naveen, it's your golden chance. I don't know how you're going to use this golden chance. So you're employed in a shop, and the shopkeeper is a kind employer. He always ensured the welfare of his staff just as much as he cared to allow his business to grow. Okay. Over the years, you have gathered wealth of experience and enough savings to start your own shop. Now you're all really set. You're all set to start your own, shop and be your own boss. In fact, you're planning to inform your boss about the same. However, before you could do that, the shopkeeper made an unexpected financial loss to the extent that he will have to sell his shop. You started thinking a lot about what to do, and what will you do, Naveen?
Hi guys, I'm Naveen. So I was recently employed in a shop. 2 years ago, I got an employment in a shop, which is owned by Chaitanya Garu. He paid rupees 10,000 per month. He was a very kind employer, and he always took care of welfare of his staff like his own children. Over the years, what I've done is, apart from working in the shop, I've also done some part-time jobs, and I've gained some wealth. And now I want to start my own shop. So I'm planning to inform Chaitanya Garu. But I understood that he's in financial distress, and at this time he needs my help. But at the same time, I have a lot of obligations. I have to perform my sister's marriage, and with 10,000, I don't think it's possible. And I have to take care of my ailing parents. I have to take care of their health also. And there's a lot of medical bills, so I have to take care of them also. So there's lakhs of money that I have to earn and pay. So with 10,000, I don't think it will work out. And for me, my parents and my sister, they are the priority. But at the same time, Chaitanya Garu, he took care of me like a father. So he paid 10,000, though the salary was less. He was very kind to me. I learned a lot from the shop. So as the shopkeeper as Mr. Chaitanya Garu was very good to me, I'll put forth two options before him, two feasible options. Actually, as Sir said, gain predominant, that is individual benefit, and at the same time holistic benefit. So these two options are based on the holistic benefit that both of us might get, not just Chaitanya Garu or not just me. So the first option I would put before him is, so I'll ask him, because anyways he's contemplating to sell his shop and he's in a lot of financial distress. I'll ask him to sell his shop, and I'll give him a proposal where he can be my partner in the new shop that I'm planning to start. So because his expertise, he's been in this business for more than 10 years. So his expertise would help me a lot, and having a genuine partner like him would be of help to me. So, and also I would give him a second option if he says that, he's not interested to start a new shop, or he wants to continue with his old one. So I'll suggest him an equally competent individual who would assist him in my place instead of me. So
Right.
I think both
Okay.
these options would be good for
Yes.
Chaitanya.
Well, you made it extremely interesting. You actually turned it turned it around to kind of make it a lot more realistic, I would say, because you actually brought in certain of your own problems in your own personal life, and you're just trying to look at how do I justify my own expectations of my own life. How do I meet my own challenges? At the end of the day, there is life beyond the shop as well. So you nicely kind of brought in a very good 360 degrees scenario of your life. Um, of course, it was beyond the script. That's good. That's good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way you've narrated it. So
Thank
let's
you, sir.
look at it this way. Um, if you've done a fantastic job in thinking about the shopkeeper, your own boss, who has been kind to you, and you want to be kind to him as well. I mean, you can actually easily walk out of the situation saying, okay, I have nothing to do with him. I made up my mind. I'm going to invest in my shop. I don't want anything to do with his problems, right? So that would have been typically gain predominant solution, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Personal gain predominant solution. So instead, you actually are looking at the holistic benefit predominant solution, which is good. Now, when you propose to the boss, become my partner, I will buy the shop, what do you think would be his reaction?
First thing is, because as far as it's concerned to me, I've actually prepared Chaitanya Garu that, in the near future, maybe I would start my own business, but not now. But this will be a slight shock to him. But definitely, I think he would contemplate on my proposal
Sure.
instead of
Yeah.
getting.
So certain things we may actually notice is people may start becoming a little jealous or insecure.
Yes.
I mean, until now, I was the one who provided business jobs to Naveen, and Naveen is now in a position where he's actually trying to dictate terms as well. So, what kind of equation does it do you really need in this scenario for both of you to be effective partners? What equation do you expect between both of you?
The first thing is, it's very important for me to build a trust before directly giving out the proposal. So I have to start narrating my own problems, because everybody has their own problems.
Very nice. Yes.
Everybody is in financial distress. So I'll start narrating my own problems. And, when we start sympathizing or empathizing with each other, then I'll put forth a proposal that, this might also be good. Just I got an idea that this might be a good thing if both of us can work it out together. So I'll start as a victim, and then I'll put forth the
Okay.
proposal instead of putting the upper hand.
Right, right. I mean, I don't think even you need to do that victimhood role. In fact, I call this honest communication.
Yes.
Honest communication actually resolves a lot of issues. So when you honestly put forward your position, because I'm sure there is an expectation that I have looked after my staff well, so it's their turn to look after me now. But actually, he's a kind employer, and I'm assuming that he is also very grounded as well. But forget
Yes.
all that. An honest communication whereby you are putting forward not only your proposals for the shop and the future of it, but you're also putting across what are your concerns, what are your expectations and aspirations as well. So
Yes. Yes.
we called it the churning, just as we are
Yes.
doing this churning here, where I'm asking you questions, you are providing answers. The same
Yes.
churning happens between you and Chaitanya Garu, to bring out the best solutions of this. So the churning is only possible when both parties can honestly engage in that discussion.
Yes, sir.
It's beautiful. All right. Okay. I think given the time, wonderful. I've enjoyed the way it went. I
Thank you, sir.
hope others have also enjoyed it. I would ask Amulya, Sampada, or Akhil to make any quick comments if you have. None
Uh,
from Sampada.
the
Okay. Okay. Amulya, you want to say something?
Yeah, it was a great story, and I really like the perspective. Like, I was thinking more like maybe share. You have the money, so you could put some into the
Mm-hmm.
family and all, and you could give some. But yeah, the solution was really good. I mean, this is a fresh
Yeah.
perspective. I like
See,
this.
yes, I think at the end of the day, what Dharma teaches us is whatever may be the proposals you have, I'm nobody to judge you whether you are right or wrong. So Naveen actually may actually go to Chaitanya to say, I'm outrightly buying your place. But does he have the right justification? And again, I come back to the honest communication part. What are the intentions behind it? And partnership it could be, or some anything else. So we are no one. Dharma actually teaches us not to judge others, because unless we are in that position, we won't really know. So definitely truth here, truth, honesty, and having that right kind of self-respect, as well as we call the Atma Gauravam, and compassion towards the shopkeeper, putting everybody into perspective. Nice. I didn't really need to narrate the parable I was thinking of. So, given the time, I'll possibly skip it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Okay. So, the next one, let me see whose that is. Okay. Sarita's divine gift. I think this is for Sampada. Am I right, Sampada?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you ready?
This is a situation I have no idea of, but I'll try to.
Let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. So
Yes,
let
sir.
me read it out. So it's Sarita's divine gift. Sarita, you are a gifted artist who could paint beautiful pictures. As you grew up, you took up sciences and told yourself, be real, Sarita. This stupid art won't fetch you any money. So you graduated, then post graduated, you got married, but you never painted. You chose not to work and you decided to raise family, yet you never painted again anymore. Doing so in spare time, your joyful memories of artwork would come back to you.
Mm,
Yet you tell yourself, I will take up artwork when the kids are married and my responsibilities are done.
okay.
Now the kids are married. I mean, you're now growing into your 50s, let us say. Your husband is retired, your grandchildren keep you busy. Nowadays, you're feeling very irritated, easily irritated, and you are blaming life for being unkind to you, as it snatched the only thing that you always really enjoyed. So, Sarita, can you reflect on this story of yours and talk through your observations, please? Of course, we'll
Um,
help you as well.
I don't know what conclusions I should draw from the story because I've never had such situation, or I've never seen women in my family talk about anything being snatched away because they've been given quite a lot of opportunities. So I'll try to answer this to the best of my abilities.
Sure.
Um, so choosing sciences was her decision. Nobody insisted her.
Mm-hmm.
She forced herself to be real. Even being an artist could have been a better prospect, and she could have done what she loved and also had a better outlook at life.
Mm-hmm.
But since she chose sciences and she gave up on arts completely, which I wouldn't say it would be ideal. If you really liked something, I believe you should pursue it, no matter how difficult it got,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe where there's a will, there is a way, and following when she decided while her children were growing up, she had an opportunity to pursue her passion again, where she ignored the chances and put it off to a later time. And so that continued until it built up more like a volcano, like a lava, and then it suddenly erupted, making her irritable to the situations. Even though those were her decisions, it reflected really negatively on the people who were around her because she blamed them and the situations, even though it was her choice. So that is my observation from the story. I don't know, I might be right, I might be
Yes, yes, I think spot on, spot on. Yes, you picked up the right cues from the scenario. And I seem to have some sadistic pleasure of seeing whether you are able to, not just you, all of you, but no, I'm actually enjoying it in a good spirit. So the first thing, yes, it was her choice. So then the second, she had the memories come back, the joyful memories come back. It was a beautiful signal, come back to her saying, Sarita, now is the time. I know you missed it when you were young. I've come back again. What do you want to do with me now? Yet she rejected. I wonder what would have been going through Sarita's mind to reject it again. Was it a false sense of responsibility for everything else ahead of her own wishes and wants? So if that is the case, I'm trying to look at, does she have this tendency to put others' needs or everything, or for instance, acceptance from the outside world ahead of her own, acceptance, for instance? I mean, one of those things that crosses my mind is definitely that. And when
uh,
she blames blames her life for being unkind to her, I'm actually seeing a bitterness,
mm,
a sense of helplessness, having lost opportunities. And she's come to a stage where she's looking back. She doesn't have the courage to reflect on where she went wrong or how could she do these things wrong. And yet she's projecting the blame onto the life, which life is not going to come back, and counter her argument, right? So um, these are my reflections as well. Now, what does this tell us about our inner urge to do things that we love to do?
mm,
If we have duties, which are things we have to do,
mm.
and there are things which we love to do, what does it say about what do we have to do when we love to do something? What do we have to do? Why do we need to execute activities which we love to do?
um, uh, the whole scenario, I've seen it through my lens,
Hmm.
not at a very level of marriage and kids, but
Sure.
the agony that she's going through when she
Mhm.
says that life has been unkind to her. But the internalized issue is when where she has to balance what she has to do and what she likes to do.
Mm.
Finding that perfect balance is something which we can never have, because
Right.
at there are situations where we put one at pedestal and then the other is just there.
Mm-hmm.
We forget about it. Maybe it is because of the family issues that she must be having, or it is because, as you mentioned, she prioritizes others' interests over
Mm.
her,
Mm. Mm.
or she must have felt, um, I have plenty of time to get back to it. The
Right.
sense of taking it
Postponing.
for granted,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
postponing, but taking it for granted that I always have time and I can always get back to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So in this particular situation, do others have any comments? Amulya, Krishnavir, and Akhil, do you have any comments? Any other observations?
Sir, I believe that everybody regrets their decisions at some point of the time.
Hmm.
But one thing is, it's always good that we make up our mind to move on, because we cannot set right the past, because past is out of our hands now.
Right,
So
right.
we have to start from now at least. So if you're blaming us, if you're blaming the situations, or if you're blaming life, or if you're blaming someone for the mistakes that you have done,
Hmm.
then it is of no use to you or to anyone
Yes.
actually. So we have
So
to start acting
yeah,
immediately.
in fact, our way of outlook towards life is almost like live as if today is the last day. So there is no point in postponing decisions for a later time. So that's one of the things we can learn what not to do from this scenario. And when a mental signal keeps coming time and again, which you enjoy doing, it means that is something you cannot ever miss anymore. So again, that's another learning point. And the third is that accepting that sometimes we may have all the good intentions, but we don't have the time in real life to execute anything. So do we keep mourning about it? Do we regret it? So at that time, having the acceptance that this is something which I won't be able to execute, mainly because it's beyond my control. And how does it help? It helps us emotionally, surely, bringing us into the right kind of emotional balance. So we don't stay in that sense of bitterness, guilt, and regret, and all those things wouldn't trouble us. Here, I'll use this opportunity to read out or summarize a parable from Swami Chinmayananda's book. In fact, I showed it earlier, but I'm not too sure if anybody saw it. So today I've picked up the parables from Swami Chinmayananda to narrate these scenarios. So here is a king of Kashi. It's a fictitious tale, it's not a true tale. So don't go looking for Kashi's history and find whether this is true. So apparently, there was a time when there was a strange rule that any king can only rule Kashi for only 5 years. And at the end of 5 years, they're sent to wilderness where they may end up dying. Okay. But in those 5 years, the king can do whatever he wants. That's his time to enjoy. So a lot of kings have gone into wilderness and died, I guess. But there is this king who reached the end of 5 years, and he is being ferried across to the island where there is all the wild animals and so on. But he looked very calm, so composed that the ferryman, the boatman, was wondering how can he be so calm and composed when he is actually nearing death. To this, and he asked this question to the king, and the king says, look, what I have done is different to what the other kings have done. I knew very well that time is short, and I sent my best men to the island to get rid of all the wild animals. And I got them to build a nice castle there, make it very safe for me. And I also made sure that they all stay loyal, and also they start enjoying the fruits of their hard work over there. So now I have nothing to worry. I'm actually going there to not only live happily, but I'll be ruling that island as well. To this, Swami Chinmayananda actually kind of adds what is the parallel with it. So he says the 5 year rule of Kashi is like human life, the lifespan. And the various kings have been given the opportunity, the 5 years lifespan, but they didn't do anything about it. Instead, this king has used the same 5 year lifespan to make his life meaningful. He acted on it. All right. He was proactive. And Swami Chinmayananda actually goes ahead to say that we need to utilize our purusharthas in the right way. And what are the purusharthas? They are the dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. And why do we use purusharthas? We use them to balance our spiritual and materialistic lives. And we are living in a materialistic world. We can't escape it. You can't just escape and run away from it saying, I'm going to the mountains and I'll only be spiritually inclined. It is not possible. So therefore, the lifespan was meant to be one of difficulties, but it is your choice. How do you make it meaningful and not leave everything to so-called destiny? At the end of 5 years, I know what is happening. I won't do anything. So in Sarita's case, I guess it's almost like postponing or not making the best out of the scenarios, making the best out of the cues that she was getting, right? So this is a parable I can relate to in Sarita's case.
Mahodaya, can I add one of my observation?
Yes.
It was like really good observation from Sampada about the perfect balance, that it is really hard to actually attain the perfect balance.
Mhm.
And how you had also mentioned that acceptance, you and yeah. So another thing is that uh, like it might not be aligned to the values maybe, but
Mhm.
it's not like we should not always try to put others in front of us. We should sometimes take decisions for ourselves. We should take a stand for ourselves. So in the case of Sarita, she kind of like, because she took like she had responsibilities of her kids and her career, this that, so she put too many things in the scenario. So instead sometimes she could actually listen to herself and choose what she wanted.
Very true. And that's exactly what Dharma would teach us as well. I think we need to be receptive of the inner chatter that happens in us. The inner voice is actually quite a pure, honest one. It's a nice reflection for our own self progress as such. Perfect. Okay, time to move on to the third scenario, but maybe I'll just, I don't want to be harsh on the participants, the others. If anybody wants to share a view or two, just a couple of minutes, I'll spare any other participants. If you want to say anything so far, the way it is happening, is it going fine? Um, uh, and if you have any comments. Actually, we have Harini here. Harini, can you show yourself, please? Switch on your video. Harini is helping me in these exercises, and Harini is actually based in Bangalore. She is into spiritual studies, Sanskrit studies, and great to have you here, Harini. If you do have any comment or two, you can make it. Or if anybody else has anything to say, please do so before we move on to the third scenario.
Uh, Hello, everyone.
Yeah, Harini,
Harini
can you
here.
switch on your video, please?
And I'm just trying to figure out. I'm not able to see the icon.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm just logging in from my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, if once I figure that out, I'll connect to the video. But it was so nice to listen to these young people share their thoughts, and inspiring to see the kind of work they are, and that they are coming into this path at such a young age and trying to figure things out. Yes, one interesting observation I had.
Mhm.
Yeah, all of them are probably already indoctrinated into this dharmic or Sanatan Dharma teaching, thanks to all your sessions. So they're bang on in terms of how they want to address the case studies or the scenarios. I was just wanting to ask Abhishek, he said that he would kind of partner with the restaurant or the shop owner to help him out. But have you thought about why that the reason why he went into the loss? And would that really help you if you partner with him? In the long run, would that be a win-win, or would that, kind of pull you down as well in terms of some mistakes that were done? So that was one thing I kind of wanted to put that thought across. Secondly, one of the things about the second scenario where the
Sarita. Hmm.
Sarita chose to ignore her inner voice,
Mhm.
as well as prioritize initially on other things in her life, where she put others before her.
Mhm.
The observation is that yes, many times in life, many people would kind of have that conflict. So
Yes.
what I feel is that if they're like these young people are having this awareness about, how to resolve that
Mhm.
with the right thinking, it will, in the long run, it will be very beneficial, and kind of not have them go through this kind of a situation. So
Very true.
that's how this will probably help these young, smart people that we
Mm.
have here.
Yeah, great. Thanks. Thanks. Thanks for the beautiful observations. I think the first one is a very valid one. It's a realistic challenge. Abhishek, will you take on a partner who is actually possibly bankrupt for wrong reasons? Did he make some bad choices in his business?
Yes, I've been following him from past 2 years. So I know him personally. So definitely it's a bad choice. He actually had a partner who cheated him. So it was a bad choice choosing that partner. So, but I know him on a personal level, so I would trust him.
Well, I think it still doesn't allow you to trust him blindly. Maybe you need to coach him how not to have a bad partner. So, but these are real scenarios, and that's what we need to do. We don't want to be textbookish here. This is not what it is all about. I'm not going to sit here to teach dharma, truth, honesty, and so on. No, we're not saying that. We're talking about how do we do the right thing in the given scenarios. But will it be gain predominant, or is it going to be holistic benefit predominant? Of course, I would want to choose holistic benefit predominant. And that's what dharma would teach us to do. And at least we should be looking at that. But holistic benefit predominant would also include me. It's not without me. So I'm also part of it. So I should also gain something out of it. Okay, great. I think we have some comments as well to say that things are going well, and thank you. Thanks for that. And Gopichand is saying what Gopichand is my doctor friend. What Shastri is mentioning is about applied dharma. Great. Thanks, Gopi, first of all, for joining here. Great. All right. So we'll go to the third scenario. And this is to Amulya. Are you ready, Amulya?
Yes, Mahodaya.
Okay. Okay. So Amulya, you are not Amulya, you are Varsha.
Mhm.
And Varsha has a very busy mind. So you have a busy mind. It's always actively thinking of things, new things, fantasizing dreams, more dreams. It doesn't stop. Your colleagues notice that you are full of ideas, but you never put them into practice. In fact, you're seen to be so inconsistent that you often keep changing your goalposts. You don't stick to anything. You have noticed it. You notice that it is actually troubling you. So you feel restless, you're fed up of it, and you say to yourself, enough is enough, I'm going to see a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist actually says, you don't need medications, you need meditation. So you learn meditation from a yoga teacher. But there also you have a problem. And you say after a few days, you complain that you cannot stop thinking. You plead the yoga teacher, please calm my mind, I beg you. So, Varsha, what is happening? What should you do?
Mm, okay. So, the first thing that was mentioned, that having too many things in the mind, in a way, having many dreams is not wrong, but you should be able to put them to action instead of just having the endless thinking. So that is why, like, all the restlessness, because like what might be happening is actually, I am like Varsha. I'm maybe scared of putting it to execution. and I might be scared of the commitment that I might have in the long run, like the efforts I put, maybe the money in in some or the other way, and I might be actually scared of the outcome, and might be scared of judgment that okay, so few people have told my idea about, and they see how it's not working out, and they might pass on some judgments. I'm scared of that, and maybe I'm doubting my ability to even take up that dream. And some things like I might be like, I might think that I'm not proficient enough, or maybe I might be new to that field, or I'm experimenting. I might be scared of the consequences. So when like this is what might be happening in my mind, which is why which is hindering actually from the thoughts being put into proper execution. So one thing that you told, which is a very ideal principle, that I might try to actually adopt nishkama karma, to think that okay, it's all right, whatever the result is finally. Maybe my the sole purpose of putting my idea to action is not just the result, but maybe I might gain experience out of it. Also to actually, like the Rabindranath Tagore poem that you had told, so it actually takes some courage to convert those ideas into action. So like that. So what I might actually try is change my thinking to more like growth mindset, like uh, it's all right whatever the result is. I might actually gain some experience through it, and at least I wouldn't be dissatisfied thinking that okay, I didn't put my thought into action, and if I did, this could have happened that way. I wouldn't have any regrets at least. And also I read some quote, I don't remember the exact quote to quote it here, but the underlying thought was basically that the starting, like if you're starting something and you actually failed and restart, you're not at zero. It's different. So you at least know that what you had done wrong, or you at least gain some experience out of it. So it's never like none of the efforts go in vain. So that is the thing. And also patience is the key. Maybe the results that I had thought of might not be achieved in the time frame I had believed it might take. It might take longer, but so finally I would know that okay, this is the dream I want to actually put my heart and soul into. I want to put all my efforts. I'll be ready for whatever the result is. I'll gain some experience. I'll gain the courage to actually put this into action. This is what I might
Great.
do.
Okay. Thanks for that. It's been good. What you have focused on was how she's failing to. It's nice to have. It is all. It's not bad to have dreams, is what you have said. That's what we would agree with. But the problem you have noticed was that not executing those dreams, not putting them into action. And if only she has those bright ideas, and she has a fear of commitment, as you said, fear of execution. One of the principles that we can look at is trikarana shuddhi. You know, um, manasa vacha karmana, as we call it, right? So thinking, then speaking it out, voicing out those ideas, those beautiful ideas particularly, and acting on them. So perhaps one of the things Varsha can actually get better at is the Trikarana Shuddhi, so that when she has brilliant ideas, she can actually put that into action. All right. And the second thing is, you have also talked about Nishkama Karma, again, nicely kind of appropriately used concept here, where she doesn't need to fear the result. The process is in her hands. That is a responsibility. So taking up the action as a process is the responsibility, and only she is only kind of responsible for that part. Whatever be the result, it is not to be taken as she to be the reason for a failure or a success. So that's a beautiful one as well mentioned here. So surely if she executes these two principles, things actually can be much better in terms of execution. Of course, when I had the scenario, when I gave the scenario, I had something else in mind, but it's always nice to have different streams of thoughts. Um, what do you make of the busy mind? The problem is it's a very busy mind. It's restless. It's almost like, and that's the reason why I wanted to put in a line to say that it's not a psychiatric problem. Because if we say it's a psychiatric problem, then we are going down a different road. So it's not a psychiatric problem. So there's what training, how can you train your mind if you have any thoughts? If you don't have any thoughts, not to worry. We have a yoga teacher here, Akhil. He can help us.
Actually, yeah, that was also mentioned in the story, right? That she thought of like she was recommended that she should try meditation. So I think meditate the whole purpose of meditation, as Akhil sir would know, is like it's finally to gain some concentration or focus on what you want to do. So this in this busy mind, if she actually tries to focus on maybe one dream which is more close to her, which is closer to her heart, and which she really wants to put her focus into, like work is like worship. She starts to enjoy her work, that gives the same result as meditation. Like she's able to divert all the restless thoughts into like concentration and focus onto that one thing.
All
So
right, great. Okay, maybe Akhil, you can help us here. What would you do as a yoga teacher? What would be your advice to Varsha?
I would just simply ask her to focus on one step at a time. You always have time to dreams. It is not wrong to have dreams, but we need to prioritize it, whichever is our highest goal. And then try to focus on it and concentrate, meditate on it so that each and every part of your body gets immersed into it, and you'll only have that goal in your mind. So all the distractions will not affect you, and you will be focusing only on your goal. And once you get succeeded, it is like infectious. You start doing again other things, other goals will come, you'll start achieving, and that builds the confidence, and she can be brighter than ever.
Okay, all
So the
right,
thing,
good.
the
So,
initial
of course, there
initiative.
are, I guess there are different techniques. What you're saying is there are different ways to calm yourself, and yoga can actually offer those tools and tips to
Yeah.
channelize your thoughts and, calm your mind, I guess. So I
Yes.
have a parable here again from Swami Chinmayananda's book. Let's see how well this relates here. So there's a Brahmin and a genie. The genie, like, the ghost, the Aladdin lamp and the genie kind of thing. So there is this Brahmin who is a wise man. He is a very kind-hearted man, but he wants to make good use of his life. He wants to make sure that he is prosperous, his family prospers, but he doesn't have any resources. So he's kind of vexed, and he goes to a sadhu and tells him about his plight. The sadhu then gives him an option. He says, look, I have a genie with me, and this guy is very good. Whatever you ask him, he will do. So this is the best thing I can offer you. So the Brahmin is very happy, and he says, yes, I'll take him. But the sadhu says, there's one catch though. The moment you stop giving him work, he will eat you, because he has to be kept busy. Well, the Brahmin thinks it's not impossible. I can keep giving some work or the other. So he takes him home, and he gives instructions. After the instructions, he says, clean up my house, build a new house for me. And after that, he says, build good houses for the entire village. So the entire village is now prosperous. All work is done. Now, one fine day, the Brahmin doesn't have any more work to give to the genie. So the genie comes rushing to eat the Brahmin. And he starts running and reaches Sadhu before the genie can eat him up, and pleads with the Sadhu, please save me, do something that I can be saved. I shouldn't be eaten by this genie. So the Sadhu reminds him of the warning. Look, I told you. But then he's kind-hearted, right? So he's kind-hearted, and he gives him a solution. And the solution is this: ask the genie to find a long pole. Ask genie to fix that pole in your house, in the ground somewhere, and you just instruct him to go up and down the pole. Keep going, keep going, keep going, and that's it. The genie is supposed to do that. Whenever you have any work at hand, call him, he'll do it, and then you immediately tell him to go to the pole and go up and down and up and down. So the Brahmin thinks this is a beautiful idea, and he does that, and he is a happy soul after that. This is exactly what has been doing. The Swami Chinmayananda nicely says, Brahmin is any aspiring human being who wants to make his life meaningful. And the genie is our mind. Our mind can't be just left empty. It has the job. It's a tool we have to use. Its job is to keep thinking. But if we feed it with too many thoughts, one after the other, it becomes so obsessed with thinking. It goes in an overdrive, and it kills you basically with the kind of thinking. So what Sadhu suggested was to channelize the mind's energy, so that now this whole business of going up and down is sticking its focus onto one task, one thing. Perhaps meditation is one of those things. And whenever the mind has to do some other task, it is brought into action, just as the Brahmin gives the genie a task to and allows it to go back to the pole again. I find this a wonderful kind of a comparison. What do you say, Akhil, about this?
Yeah, exactly, Mahoda. It will help you to focus on it so that the mind will not get distracted. It will not
And
get into overthinking. Overthinking would be avoided, which is the major problem for most of us.
yes, so Varsha, do you think you can do this? You can allow the mind to be on the pole and go up and down, just do one task?
Yes, that's why choosing the one closest to our heart at that moment, and basically like how even Aruna was mentioning in the chat, like
Yes.
prioritizing and
Yes,
doing that.
I was missing the chats, but yes, Rohita says, excellent session. Look forward to more. Unfortunately, I need to get into another meeting. Okay, that's fine. Aruna says, Varsha should first identify her core beliefs and values. Aruna has attended our Dive Inwards webinar, so she's written one of the concepts that we talk about over there. Okay, thanks, Aruna. And Gopichan says, the not knowing how to handle failing, the how to handle a result other than expected seems the skill gap. Okay, all right, thanks. All right, Aruna then further says, please then list down the dreams and verify if all the dreams are actually leading her to achieve her core values. She would drop most of the dreams when she cannot relate it to her core values, and then identify and prioritize the dreams. Yes, you can do that, Varsha. All right, so we are left with one more now, and that goes to Akhil. Akhil, are you ready?
Yes, Mahoda.
Okay, right. Akhil, you are Ashok, and Ashok makes music political. How did he do that? Let's look at it. So you've been trained well by your guru in classical music, that you become popular through your brilliant renditions. You have been receiving a lot of love from audience and appreciations from fellow musicians. Now, obviously, you're so influential that you got carried away with success, and you're now interested in only pointing flaws and ridiculing the age-old traditions. The bitterness in you replaced the bhakti rasa in your music renditions. You are no more exhibiting that devotion, the divinity in your renditions. And the audience they're not enjoying it anymore. Sensing rejection by audience, you actually resort to blaming them for being intolerant, narrow-minded, and unwilling to introspect. Do you want to introspect, Ashok? What is happening?
Yeah, hello everyone. Namaste. This is Ashok. So So I am a classical. So the thing here is, whenever we point out against age-old traditions or anything, that is the problem where we should not only take into one thing into the account, we should also have holistic approach to it. Because if there is some problem, we should investigate what is that. Instead, just only ridiculing the problem and telling that this is the problem and that is why we should not do it, that is not a correct thing. Even if for real life instance also, the freedoms you get is because of the responsibilities you practice. That is the why you'll get the freedom. So similarly, so instead of pointing it out to the audience, Ashok should introspect himself, and, so that he should again go back to the roots where he is missing it. Because at one point of time, he is one of the I'm the one of the top most performer. So because of his hubristic pride, what he has made is he has gone into wrong direction, other path, thinking that okay, I am the great now. What is there to me? Whatever I do, it will be accepted. So going into that pride, it has made him egoistic. Hence, he's blaming his mistakes into the audience. Since so, Ashok should introspect himself and again get back to his roots or back to his guru and gain the guidance and start over again so that his cluttered mind would be clear and he could again get back to his success. So this is what
Okay.
I think.
Yes, thanks for that, and nicely put as well. Um, One of the things you have very nicely highlighted is, I don't think it's wrong to look at what flaws the system has. I think it's important if somebody is receptive or is able to actually see what the flaws are. The point there is, as you nicely put, there should be an intention to work on it, staying within the system. If you are not willing to work on it to improve while staying in the system, and you want to be behaving like you are an outsider of the system and you're only finding flaws, then it is rather an unfortunate kind of escapist attitude, lack of responsibility particularly. And this is nicely captured in one of the dharmas which we should be following, the one which says, even though our dharma is flawed, you should stick to it, as compared to another dharma which may have all the greatness in it. And what is it called? Does anybody want to say? What is that dharma called? What is the name given to it? What is the name given when Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, anyway, what I'm narrating here? Even though the system that you belong to, the dharma that you belong to, even if it is flawed, you should stick to it. And instead of running away from it and choosing another dharma which has all the greatness in it, because that is a paradharma.
Swadharma.
Very nice. Well done. So the swadharma, the concept of swadharma, and Anil also from Singapore has said swadharma. So swadharma is something which is missing in Ashok's case. What Ashok should be doing is, yes, these are my people, this is my system, I grew in this system, I grew in this tradition. So I need to, and I'm seeing certain problems. So I will work on the problems. I will make others accountable for the problems, but I will not run away from the system. I will also contribute in getting it better and richer and perhaps more successful. All right. So swadharma is something which we have to adhere to, particularly in this particular example. All right. Thanks, Gopichand. Thank you for your comments as well. So Any other comments from others? What you have observed so far?
I would like to quickly add, if I can.
Yes.
Mm, so as Akil had mentioned about him introspecting
Mm-hmm.
and working on it, I think that is one great point,
Mm.
because you are in it and you have an opportunity to bring a change
Mm.
or
Yes.
put forward or to do something that nobody has done.
Mm.
So I think yes. And if you call your own dharma out,
Mm.
you put yourself in a vulnerable position where people intimidate you, knowingly
Mm-hmm.
or unknowingly,
Mm-hmm.
and it will affect you. So I think that is what
Very
I.
true. Very true. And I think one point that we should not miss is, we shouldn't be singling out this man's effort in rectifying the flaws. We should be open to listen what the perspective, what those flaws are. And a system should be open enough. And one of the lessons dharma has to learn, as in dharma, as in a system has to learn, particularly, is to be receptive to anybody who is a whistleblower, for instance. What is it that is not going right? And what can be done to be more accommodative and change according to times? And that is something we, aspirants of dharma particularly, and applying dharma in our lives, we can courageously kind of say that dharma allows us the opportunity to do so, to be creative, to be thinking ahead and changing according to times. Okay, so that's one of the things we can also carry ahead with this. So one of the parables I'll bring again in this relation. Let us see how this works here. So there's this blind sadhu, okay, in a forest, a hermitage, and it's dark at the time. They have just finished a satsang. The blind sadhu knows his way back to his hut, the hermit. He doesn't need any lamp or anything. But the guru actually gives him a lamp to hold. The reason is that people don't bump into you because it is dark. So if they see the light in you in the darkness, they won't bump into you. Okay. So carry a lamp with you. And this blind, the sadhu actually carries a lamp with him, the lamp with him, which is lit. Halfway through, he doesn't realize that it got extinguished. It is not lighting anymore. So it's pitch dark yet again. So there are some other sadhus who are going to their huts and they bump into him. And every time somebody bumps into him, he gets so upset and angry and blames them. Are you blind or am I blind? Can you not see the light in my hand? So he curses and then goes on and finally reaches the hut. The point Swami Chinmayananda brings about here, the parallel is that the guru's job is to light up the lamp in you. The blind sadhu is me, the ignorant one, before the jnana has been given, the knowledge has been given. And the lit lamp is the jnana, or whatever knowledge, the vidya. With that, I'm actually now prepared to go into the society and work with the society in whatever way. Now, if there was a time when my arrogance has become so much so that I have ignored the vidya or I'm not actually devoted to it anymore, the lamp gets extinguished. And when it gets extinguished, nobody actually pays attention to me. And yet we demand attention, we demand respect. You should still obey me, you should still do this, and so on and so forth. So the bottom line here is that always ensure that the lamp is lit, never allow it to extinguish. So if it is a musician, especially the Carnatic tradition, the bhakti rasa has to continue, isn't it? And if it is any vidya, that there should be the humility to learn and teach. All right, so that's a nice parallel as well, I thought. Okay, all right. So this is where we finish our 4 scenarios, and I'll open it to the floor if anybody wishes to have any questions to our 4 young participants, or anything else that you wish to say. There's one question, I guess. Let us see if we can answer this question. I'm not too sure. Can mind be engaged with something uninteresting and void of purpose? On the other hand, focus is automatic if there is interest. Hence, should we not rather find a way to make what is good interesting, meaningful, and purposeful instead of forcing oneself to focus? Okay. Well, ideally, it would be fantastic if our lives are filled with joyful activities. And ideally, I want to lead a life where I have enough interests or core kind of cravings to do nice things, and that joyfully I can carry on doing them. But is it so in real life? Don't we have certain duties or commitments? If that is the case, certain things have to be done, although we don't love them. So what do we do then? When we have to do certain things, in fact, we cover this in our webinar, activities I love to do, activities I have to do. Activities I have to do are never, automatically joyful. They are nurtured. We have to nurture them. We have to bring in the best in us to do the activity, the responsibility. So it's not always possible to be having the idealistic scenario that you would only have activities you love to do. We have to also learn to enjoy jobs which are given to us as well, and that's where the focus comes into play. I hope I have answered that question. I don't have the name, your name, it's MIA3. So I hope I have answered your question here. All right, if anybody else has any comments, we can spare another few minutes. If not, I want to show a short video, which is our theme. Let me play that anyway, and I hope you can just allow me to do that. It's just a 5-minute video, less than 5 minutes actually.
Namaste, Hari Om. Welcome to Soham Vidya. I'm Dr. Malladi Srinivasa Sastry. Our topic for today is connecting the dots from past to future, and our goal is to empower common man to reroute with native wisdom.
Sorry, can you hear this? Is it audible?
Yes, Mahodaya.
Yes,
Yeah,
Mahodaya.
yeah, okay. Oh, sorry.
Namaste, Hari Om. Soham Vidya. I'm Dr. Malladi Srinivasa Sastry. Our topic for today is connecting the dots from past to future, and our goal is to empower common man to reroute with native wisdom. Ano Bhadrakritavo Yantu Vishwataha is the noble saying from the Vedas, which means let noble thoughts come to me from all directions. Why connect the dots from past to future? What will be covered in this presentation is the present challenge, the goal, and the method we will follow. Bharat was a cradle of innovation of formal and informal knowledge systems, be it philosophy, spirituality, science, law and administration, art forms, languages, and many more. Yet, all these being great stuff, these are forgotten due to guilt, shame, and low civilizational self-worth. Despite owning complete responsibility for a failed societal structural system of jati or caste, but still demonstrating the civilizational will to make amends and march ahead with time. Yet after 70 years of independence, we are still made to feel perpetually guilty and ashamed for what we inherited, and are expected to disown the glorious inheritance too. This is a result of misguided and manipulative narrative that this is all pseudoscientific dogma, painted so by the nexus of adharmic forces, aiming to covertly annihilate this longest continuing civilization of the ancient world that valued and promoted native wisdom. It was too late by the time we realized. To reverse the terrible damage done to the civilizational conscience, The generations have been uprooted and alienated from its native wisdom, whether it is formal or informal knowledge systems. Ironically, its own people are framing policies of self-annihilation. The result, which we can see from the list below, can you name one who isn't uprooted from native wisdom? Teachers, students, parents, grandparents, politicians, policymakers, professionals, judiciary. Is modern society really providing me an opportunity for a guided, uncompromising, self-exploratory quest to know myself? This is the actual Vidya. And what about the conversions? Yes, we often talk about the religious conversions or the ideological conversions, which are but monotheistic, dogmatic, exclusivist, predatory, religious and political ideological movements, working in tandem to annihilate Sanatana Dharma and native faiths of the world. But there are others as well, which are the cultural and linguistic conversions, which we often voluntarily participate in, or it seems to be the case. All these happen at overt or covert level, or forced or voluntary. Our goal is to empower common man to reroute with dharma or native wisdom, and also to develop dharmic leadership. And the method for that is to realize dharma, which is to research dharma and native wisdom, endorse its universally applicable principles, apply dharma in daily life, learn lifelong by constant practice and lead by example, and incorporate our learnings in our daily life, which we can zealously propagate through satsanga, so that we empower every common man to implement, realize dharma strategy and become dharma leader. I am a dharma leader. My example of realized dharma strategy is Sanatana Dharma and personal development. Are you a dharma leader? Do you know of a dharma leader? Please let us know. Dhanyavad.
Okay, thank you for listening that. All right. Yes, I'll just open it to the floor if anybody has any comments to make, any observations before we close for today.
Sir, I believe that as Hindus or as followers of Sanatana Dharma, so we are sticking ourselves to a brand, and we feel that we have to protect the brand when the brand is affected, or whenever someone questions our dharma. So we feel that we have to answer them, or we have to protect our dharma. But I believe that by just following our dharma, because I believe that most of the Hindus, we are actually not following the dharma as it should be done. So if we just follow the dharma instead of answering them back verbally, if we just answer them back through our actions, then I think most people will be motivated to understand, or to come back to the dharma. The main problem is we generally talk about defending our dharma, but most of us, we are not putting it into action, what we are preaching actually. So that is a main problem, and I believe that we need not protect our brand. The brand, the Sanatan Dharma will take care of itself
There's a
if we
nice,
follow it
yes, very
correctly.
true, very true. In fact, there are two things come out of this. There's a nice video by String, I forgot his name now, String videos on YouTube, and he talks
Yes,
about
sir.
it. He talks about this beautifully. He says it is about practicing dharma, not talking about dharma. Similarly, if you realize the realized dharma strategy that I mentioned in the video, this is all about practically applying it, looking at the relevance of past wisdom or ancient wisdom to the current times and applying it. So we can be scientific about it. We don't need to be dogmatic about it. So we have to look at the application, and how do we do that? We need to practice it in our life, and if it works for us, we should endorse it. And when we endorse it, we should automatically learn to practice it lifelong. And as we practice it lifelong, it's a time-tested skill, then you can definitely teach others as well. And you're very right in saying that that's the way we need to go. Okay. Yes. Thanks, Akhil. Yes. I'm glad that it's a wonderful opportunity. And I think maybe we'll just read out a few comments in the chat and we'll finish for today. I think there's definitely some positive feedback that we can carry on with these kind of sessions. And I think the youngsters need to tell me whether these sessions are worth continuing. What do you say?
Yes, sir.
Yes, definitely.
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 So
Sir, I believe
my job
to
is
have
to bring in more case scenarios, and or we can find we can brainstorm as to how else we can make this more interesting. We can definitely look at it. Okay, Vasudha Garu says, I know practicing is important, but it's time to spread even. It's high time. Yes. Harini says, a wonderful session. Thank you, Harini, for joining despite your busy schedule. Jayanti Murthy Garu, yes, thank you, Dr. Sinos. It has been a very nice educative session and thought-provoking one. Perfect. If anybody wishes to kind of be in touch with us or know more about what we do of future sessions, please message me on WhatsApp. My number is 961-870-4801. I guess we can take leave now. Thank you all for your time and being here. I especially thank you, the four of you, Amulya, Abhishek, Akhil, and Sampada. You've been wonderful. Thank you so much. Namaste
Thank you,
to
Mahadev.
all, and please take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mark.
thank you, sir.